Here we are, the Egyptian Papyrus Museum. My name is Basma. I'm going to be your local guide to introduce to you how ancient Egyptians made the first paper ever from this plant. Have you seen this plant before? So this is called the papyrus plant. It was a very holy plant in ancient Egypt for two reasons. The first reason, I would like you to look at the flower. It looks like the rays of the sun, right? It refers to God Ra, God of the sun in ancient Egypt. Also look at the stem. Looks like a small pyramid, a triangle shape, which refers to eternal life. So this plant, originally 4 or 5 meters high, very tall. Ancient Egyptians cut it according to the size they need to make the paper. Also, it grows by the Nile River. It grows by the Nile River because it's an aquatic and tropical plant. Now, they use it to make a lot of things. Amongst them, the most important thing, of course, is the paper. Let's see together. They would get the stem. And they find out the stem has two parts. The outer part, which is very hard, very stiff, and the inner part, which is very weak, this light colored one. So what we do, we first remove the outer part like this. Like that. But then, ancient Egyptians were very smart. So they discovered that the outer part is very strong, very flexible. If anyone would like to see yourself, but be careful not to cut yourself. Try to cut it like this.
Just pull it.
Very, very strong, very flexible.
Damn.
Yeah, it will not break.
So they made a rope out of it?
Exactly.
Wow,
they used to make.
amazing.
Yeah, sure. Very strong. They used it to make very strong ropes, baskets, hats, mats on the floor. Also, see with me, the plant itself is very light. Look, not heavy at all. I do this, it doesn't sink, it floats above the water. Yeah, so when they saw it floats above the water like that,
They made a bridge?
is to make boats, small boats like this in the Nile River, like this one. So this is for the outer part. For the inner part, this is what we use the most because this is what we use to make the paper. Let's see together. We cut it into thin stripes like this. But ancient Egyptians discovered that the inner part weak. I'd like you to see yourself. See? Anyone? It has a lot of fibers, a lot of gelatin, a lot of water. It breaks very easily, not flexible and not strong like the outer part. So they wanted to make it more flexible, to be more strong, right? So how? They would use a wooden hammer first to break the fibers of the plant like this. Let's see together. After breaking the fibers of the plant, I get a rolling pin to take all the water from inside of it, like this. I do that. Very, very strong. Can you see how much water gets out? On the rolling pin, a lot of water. On the pallet itself, a lot of water. But now after I got all the water out from this one, it becomes more flexible and stronger, more strong and flexible than before. I roll it around my finger, no problem.
It doesn't break.
I do this, doesn't break. If you'd like to compare between these two and this one, I do this, breaks. Also, I do this. Yeah, but this one, no. I took all the water, all the fibers out of it. After I make it this strong, this flexible, I put it in a water. This is actually a normal water. We don't add any glue, any chemicals, and that's the secret behind why this kind of paper, the papyrus paper, lasts forever. Ancient Egyptians put it in the water, and the whole process of making the plant is natural. Nothing chemical. We don't add any glue, any chemicals at all, which is why it lasts forever. Have you been to the Egyptian Museum or not yet?
Not yet.
So when you go to the second floor, okay? You will see the original papyrus scrolls, which was found inside of the tomb like 5,000 years ago, and no damage. Because, as I told you, this part has natural gelatin inside of it. We use the gelatin to make them stick. We don't add glue, we don't add chemicals at all natural. So how many days we leave it in the water? We leave it in the water for 6 days, and we change the water every day. After 6 days, we begin to get a light colored paper like this color. this or this or this or this. This is 6 days in the water. White color, cream color. I can actually leave it in the water for another 6 days, so all of it will be 12. After the 12 days, the color become darker. So this here stays in the water for 12 days. This stays in the water for 6 days. Also this one, 12 days. Maximum 12. After 12, all the gelatin will be gone, and I need some gelatin to make them stick together. So I begin to prepare 2 pieces of carpet, like that. And I do the slices to make the paper. I make it in 2 layers. The first layer will be vertical like that, okay? And I need them to be overlapped, to touch each other, to allow the gelatin inside of them to make them stick together without any extra chemical at all. This is the first layer, okay? I do it until the end, according to the size I need for my paper. Then I do my second layer, which will be horizontal, like that. Look with me. You can see, like that. Overlapped until the end, okay? And I cover it with another piece of carpet. As you saw, nothing chemical. After this, I put it under a press machine. Here stays another 6 days.
Oh, under the weight?
Yes.
How much?
Why do I put it in here? Because I want the water, all of the water to extract out of it, and then I won't allow the gelatin, the natural gelatin, to make them stick together. So in here we leave it in 6 days. Here, so 6 days in here, 6 days in here, what? Light colored paper. 12 days in here, and 6 days in here, darker colored paper. Of course, at the time they didn't have this exact machine. It's modern. Can you imagine, guess with me what they used?
Weight. Stone.
Stones. Very good, yes. Stones and rocks, very heavy. 2 blocks of them, and they put the paper between them and press. After 6 days in here, we get the paper out, and we give it some time to dry in the sun. And our final result will be first paper ancient Egyptian invented 5,000 years ago. Yeah. You can actually, all of you feel it. It's very strong paper, it's very flexible, and inside of it is no chemicals at all. It's done by this because of all the natural gelatin I told you about. So this is the papyrus paper story. After making the paper itself, they begin to draw their stories on it. We have one of the most important stories in our history, the one behind me here, which is called the Last Judgement. So of course, you know, ancient Egyptians believed in life after death, right? So they believed if a person dies, he will come back again to life. So in here, they say if he was a bad person, he not go to paradise. If he was a good person, he will go to the paradise. But how will we judge? They imagined it would be a judgment like this. They would give the king, this is the king. His name is Hunafir, and he dies. After he dies, he kneels in front of 14 giants. And he's beginning to tell them the story that when he was alive, he was very good king. He didn't do anything bad or evil. As you can see, he's talking. So I had the first 7, these 7, giving him this sign, which is called the key of life. Ankh sign. Look, I love it very much also. It's a very famous sign in our history, meaning eternity. So they are holding the Ankh like this, meaning I trust you, I believe you, you are a good king, so you deserve to go to the paradise. But, see with me here? The other 7, they don't holding the key of life, meaning they don't believe he was a good person. They think he was lying. So I have an equal situation. 50% believe, 50% don't. What happens? He gets another chance and he goes to the courtroom with Anubis. Anubis is the god of mummification and tomb protection in ancient Egypt. And he's taken the king with him to the balance of justice. This is the balance of justice. What happens in here that they put the king's heart in one scale, and on the other they put a feather. This is called the feather of justice. This refers to truth. So, if his heart is heavier than the feather, would you think he would be a bad person or a good person?
Good person.
Good, bad?
Good person.
Bad person. If his heart heavy, bad. Why? Ancient Egyptians believed if I'm living and every day I'm doing bad stuff, all of these sins and bad stuff would go inside my heart and make it heavier. Yeah. So in that case, he will not get a chance to go to the paradise. But lucky for us, our king is a very good king. How did I know? Because his heart, look with me, lighter than the feather, meaning pure heart, nothing evil inside. So he can get the chance to go to the paradise. Here we have the paradise, and the king goes in, and he lives happily ever after, become a king again. Inside of the paradise, we have 3 gods and goddesses: Osiris, Isis, Nephthys. Osiris is the god of heaven and paradise. Isis, his wife, is goddess of love, and Nephthys, goddess of beauty and magic, his sister. So the king goes in, they welcome him. Now, I would like to ask you, how did we know this whole story? Can you?
He came back to tell us.
No, he died already. No. We know from these language, the alphabet. Here we have a very important god. His name is Tut. In hieroglyphics, is Tuhut. Tuhut is the god of knowledge on writing in ancient Egypt. Can you see his writing, right? So he's writing the balanced result, and he's writing the whole story in ancient hieroglyphics alphabet. That's the language they used 4,000 years ago. I would like to show you more closely the language. So look with me in here. Here we have a very special shape, frame. This is called cartouche. Cartouche is an oval shape, has no ending and no beginning. Can you see? It's like infinity, keeps going on and going on. It was specially for writing the names of the kings and queens back then. You will see it in a lot of designs actually. When you look, for example, in here, you will see a cartouche in here, a cartouche, cartouche, cartouche. A lot of designs have it. Whenever you see this shape, you know inside of it we have a king or a queen name, pharaoh name. So this is a little example we did in our museum. We have an artist. She can write the names like this in golden colors and black outlines, and she made a modern name like Laura. Laura English, Laura Arabic. Arabic is the language we use nowadays, and Laura hieroglyphics. So each letter of Laura has a meaning. Like the L, she has a very strong character like the lion. 2 A's, 2 eagles, meaning she's a very protective person. Whenever you see an eagle, it's for protection. U, like the small chicken, meaning she's very sociable, she's never alone. Whenever we see a small chicken, it has friends in groups. Okay. And the R, she has a big mouth, she loves to talk a little bit, she loves to talk with her friends, with her family a lot. That's the meaning of Laura name. So now you know all of the stories. And so انت عاملة ايه؟